Hello, everybody. Tracy Mrs. JDog Flanagan here with you today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president of JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Tactical Treasures podcast. Our podcast gives veterans, MilSpouses, and active military service members a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they are affecting their communities post-service, and a tactical treasure from their past that has shaped their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I have the honor and pleasure of speaking with Tiffany Orner. Tiffany Orner is an Air Force veteran, MilSpouse, and the mother of 3 children. Tiffany joined the military in 2001 as a third-generation member of the military and a second-generation Air Force veteran. In the Air Force, Tiffany was stationed at Travis Air Force Base in Northern California, where she was a war readiness technician, managing equipment and parts critical to the operation of C-5 aircraft. Tiffany also had a CDL and drove 18-wheelers to and from the Aerial Support Squadron to support Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Post-service, Tiffany was previously the business development manager for JDog Junk Removal and Hauling and the director of strategic outreach and engagement at Grunstyle Foundation. Today, Tiffany is the military engagement manager for Step One Automotive Group. In addition, Tiffany volunteers her time to and is a member of numerous military organizations, including the Veterans Business Council, the Unified Military Affairs Council, and the Veterans and Community Housing Coalition, having helped to spearhead the creation of Foreverly House. When do you have time to sleep? I'm just asking. That's like, wow. Okay, girl. But hey, thank you for your service. And I am so excited to chit chat with you today. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. So tell me.
Thank you for having me, Tracy.
You're welcome. So, organizations and nonprofits. Wow, you do a lot. Could you talk to us a bit about your post-service journey and the work that you have done at various organizations within the military and veteran space?
Absolutely. So, I got out prior to 4 years because it's an option when you're pregnant, you can get out. So I got out of the military just shy of 4 years and was a MilSpouse for 10 years. We moved to upstate New York and we struggled. Full transparency, my transition was not good. I didn't understand. It was just hard for me, right? And what happened was I started to see my amazing opportunity to serve my country as a liability, right? I didn't go to college. I didn't do the traditional route. And unfortunately, we just struggled. We struggled during our service and then after. So during our service, we didn't have that much money, like most junior enlisted families, and I tell the story often. I was the airman in the commissary with my WIC coupons trying to figure out which peanut butter and which cereal I could get, to provide for my boys. I have 2 boys. They're 13 months apart, and we did the military thing. You get married young, you have babies young, sometimes close in age, and you just keep moving forward. So whenever we got out, it was tough. When I got out, it was very tough. My constants were bartending and serving. I did that consistently, but I had done everything from assistant branch manager at a financial institution to small format sales rep for Pepsi to selling jewelry to selling credit card services. I've done all the things. And
wow.
It wasn't until, and this is spanning over 10, 13 years, right? A lot. But I'm only 20 years old. So there's that for the record. I'm 20, okay? 21 next year. But it wasn't until I came across your location in Albany. Yeah. So there's JDog in Albany.
The Gagnon team.
And it said business development manager. And I was like, whatever that means. But I applied for the opportunity and killed it. I did really, really well at growing JDog in that location in the commercial space. They went from doing very little to a lot. In fact, we had to hire a lot of temp agencies to keep up with the opportunities that I brought to that JDog. So that was the beginning of it all, right? Finding my why.
Right.
respect, integrity, trust, the things that you guys talk about, serving your community as you once served your country, and then meeting the actual JDoggers that were all in, moving the things, filling the trucks, dumping the trucks. Like, I had the opportunity to work alongside a Purple Heart recipient.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Though it was great, it was just like, it was overwhelming, but that was like, here's my why, right? This is my why. So yeah.
So being in the military space post-service is, and, figuring out how to, navigate that military community after the military service, that's, there is a space out there for that, definitely.
Well,
and
yeah.
you seem to have found
and when
it.
I got out, it was so my TAP transition assistance program was 2 days and one of them was optional. I remember medical saying, well, you got a cavity, but you're pregnant, so you don't have to go to dental. And I was like, okay, not going. Now fast forward, TAP, depending on, your squadron, what branch, it spans like up to a year, maybe even a little bit more, where we have, hiring our heroes, DoD Skill Bridge, all these amazing opportunities. Now It's like drinking from a fire hose. So It goes from one extreme to the other,
Yeah, that's great. So now, your new position, I would love to hear more about that. So you are the Military Engagement Manager for Step One Automotive Group. Wow. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved and it, with their foundation and the work that you're doing there.
Absolutely. So before this, I stood up and I worked with the Grunt Staff Foundation. Great opportunity. Loved the ability to meet so many different people, but I was doing things all over the US, which is great. But I really wanted to have the opportunity to start something and grow it locally somewhere, and so I always keep my options open. I always, if something comes up, military outreach, I'm like, oh, what's that? Because if it's not for me, which there have been others that, have either reached out to me or presented themselves, and I've shared them with my network. This came up and it was very vague, but something in my heart was like, you know what? See what happened. So I did. A couple weeks after applying, they were like, yes, all of the yes. So as the military engagement manager for Step One Automotive, and just to back up a little bit, Step One Automotive is an automotive group. They have about 20 dealerships and I think 3 wholesale distribution part stores. And anyway, what they're doing is they're looking to stand up their nonprofit, Irreverent Warriors. Also, I will be handling all military outreach throughout all 3 states. So Florida, Alabama, and Georgia, making sure it ladders up to something that's intentional. Anyone can give checks because babies shake hands, but that's not what this is about. For Walton Beach, where I am now, is very heavily military, both past and present. Yeah. It's home of Eglin, the Air Force's largest military installation in the U.S. So, I'll be handling all of that. And like I said, leading their nonprofit, Irreverent Warriors.
Okay, awesome. So that nonprofit, what exactly does it do? How does it assist warriors?
Yes. So what we're doing is we're not looking to rework the wheel. As you know, there are so many amazing nonprofits out there in the state doing their damn thing, just killing it. So our thought process is, why don't we align that and just add value to that? And that's creating partnering relationships. That's really seeing what resources are out there, vetting them, because we all know not all VOBs, both for and nonprofit, are created equally, but then kind of housing them. So that if a military member or a MilSpouse or a veteran comes to us and says, hey, I need help with X, easy peasy, 90 Works is one of the nonprofits here that I'm in conversation with. Like they can help you if you're having a tough time and you need that 90 days of assistance, all the way to the big guys that we've rocked with before, like Irreverent Warriors. We just did an event with them this past Saturday. Now they do want to focus on transition and sustainment. And in that, obviously, mental health, it's all together.
Yeah.
So, by utilizing their Step One Motorsports, which they have, we're gonna make it weird. We're gonna make it weird because what we found is there's a lot of similarities between motorsport drivers like NASCAR and all those different series and races, whenever they're done with their career driving, they're out and they're young, right? And they're like, now what? They were a part of a team. So there's a lot of similarities there. And we're going to absolutely kind of change the game in the transition space and get people really hands-on that are interested and not interested in NASCAR and not just NASCAR. Again, I don't know what they're all called, but the motorsport community. So yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. That's awesome. So that's a lot of what the JDog Foundation is kind of about. We're kind of the same way. We don't recreate the wheel either, but we're definitely in that suicide and mental health situation. So we have a huge strategic partnership with IW, Irreverent Warriors. So we support their hikes, and a lot of our JDogs across the country are getting involved in not only hiking, but volunteering and partnering with them for grand openings. And it's
your JDog was there. I met them, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really neat, but I think it's really great idea for just a foundation. There's, as you said, there's so many people in that space, but maybe there's not enough people that are willing to strategic partner or wrap their arms around these organizations that are small and, trying to do the work that they want to do, but they need that sponsorship. They need that strategic partner to kind of help them. So yeah, so that's really great. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. Hello, viewers and listeners. We are speaking with Tiffany Orner, Air Force veteran, MilSpouse, and the Military Engagement Manager for Step One Automotive Group. They have something very exciting planned at Step One Automotive Group. They are going to be launching very soon their Forever Warriors Foundation that is going to be powered by Step One Automotive. So keep posted to hear more about that as all the platforms become live. And you can certainly follow Tiffany on her LinkedIn. Tiffany Orner, that is her profile, and she will be shouting to the rooftops once Forever Warrior's platform becomes live. So stay tuned. I would love to know about your treasure. So what would you like to share with us today?
So my treasure is, and I thought about this a lot, and I think it's evolved just a touch, but I think my treasure is creating and maintaining and growing partnering relationships. What does that mean? To me, that means partnership is a thing, it's a noun. Partnering is a verb, right? Partnering in my head is infinite. And I'm very intentional with how I support other nonprofits, other people, because I want to add value. Being a woman in the military space, there's not many of us that scream stuff from the rooftops like I do. So I want to welcome, organizations that are open to that, because I feel like we do need to grow our female veteran voice, but in that growth, that's going to take time, and that's okay. But I know my treasure is really being able to connect with people. I'm very adamant about how do I add value. I think that's most important, is making sure you understand how you're going to add value to someone else before having your hand out. So I think that's my hidden treasure. And I'm so proud of myself, Tracy, because it took me a long time to get to the Tiffany that you see today. For so long, I would bend to make others comfortable, to keep them comfortable. And I'd always think, well, I shouldn't speak too loud, or I shouldn't do this, or I should, dial it back. Like, now I don't care anymore, respectfully. But the cool thing about that is other people see that, and some are like, what? But they're all in. The ones that are a little hesitant because they don't know if it's, are there ulterior motives, all of that stuff. But once they see that I'm like this, no matter who's around, whether it's y'all or my mom or my kids or my husband, they're like, wow, this is pretty cool. So yeah, partnering relationships for the long haul.
Yeah, that's great. And I think it's really important for women like yourself who are doing great things in the military space, to empower your fellow women veterans, because they transition and struggle with transition and figuring out their next step just as much as, the servicemen do when they get out, so I love that. I love this Tactical Treasures podcast for me has been really amazing. I've met and spoken to so many incredible women veterans and MilSpouses, and just just seeing how they are forging a new journey has just been really amazing and really inspiring for me. So so I would like to ask you, so who do you have, like a particular woman or women that have been in your life that have inspired you and helped empower you, or maybe helped you find the Tiffany that sits before me today?
Yes. Obviously, Gma, my mom. She was Air Force as well, single mama.
Oh, wow.
And she, like, looking back now, I don't know how she did it. I grew up in Napa Valley because she was stationed at Travis Air Force Base. I went to St. Apollinaire Catholic School. When we moved towards the end of my freshman year to South Jersey, she had me we lived in a great neighborhood, and she persevered. She no matter what, she was ready to rock. And I think my strength comes from her. Mm-hmm. And again, I look back and I'm like, how in the heck did she do this? She wasn't an officer in the military. Mm-hmm. She was enlisted. And I was at a Catholic school in Napa Valley, so that she is absolutely my rock. And I don't even know where I would be if it weren't for her perseverance. And I don't want to say leadership because that sounds silly, but resiliency, her audacity to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? So there's that, my mom for sure. And then my fellow sisters along the way, man, both inside the military community and outside. Like, we have some really dope women out here moving in silence after their service that have been through some stuff, right? Yeah, that have lost spouses to suicide, that have spouses that are still serving, that themselves are still serving. Like, the space and the support to tell me when I'm having a rough day or a moment, and I'm just like, like, you know what? First of all, everything you're saying is okay and totally understandable. Like, it's okay to say that here. Just allowing that space, because when egos are involved, and Tiffany rewind, 8-10 years ago, there's judging, there's this, well, I, when listening to someone else. So, and the beauty of it is I meet people and instantly I can feel if they're going to be here for the long term or a relationship may be complete shortly. And that's okay. But yeah, there's so many women, and, I don't want to call them out, but they're great. And it's so important just to give that space.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I really love about the military community is it really is a community, and it really is a tribe.
It is.
And it's great to see, our veterans, men and women, being able to reconnect with, their, fellow veterans, like through organizations like Irreverent Warriors and just wherever they are in the military space post-service. It's so important, because I think I think it's very needed, and I think it's very needed for mental health and just transitioning in general, is to be able to feel like you still have that community, that you haven't lost it just because you've, finished your service. So that's that
ecosystem really outside of the gate or off installation. Mm-hmm. That's the gold. That's why I love Nate and Cindy and what they've done with IW, because no matter the hype, it's like, it's just, it's beautiful, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I've had both of them on, and Cindy just recently, her podcast will be coming out pretty soon. You gotta see that podcast. Very emotional. It was amazing. Hello, listeners, viewers. Thank you for tuning into Tactical Treasures podcast. So I would like to introduce you to IW, or Irreverent Warriors. The JDog Foundation helps sponsor their what they call silky hikes. So it's an amazing time of camaraderie and mental wellness for our veterans who have served our country. They get together and do hikes probably in close to 80 cities across the country. And lots of veterans show up, probably 150 to 200 veterans or more, and they hike 10 miles through the city. And it's a great time to connect, tell stories, and support one another and encourage one another in their mental wellness. And I encourage you to find out more about it. Veterans, military service people, if you're looking for a way to connect, this is a great way to do it. Check out irreverentwarriors.org and find where the next hike is, hopefully close to your location. Okay, so what advice? Now I'm going to ask you for a piece of advice for fellow female veterans who are struggling, to put themselves out there post-service, and, maybe they don't even know where to start. As they're trying to transition and network and figure out their next step in life post-military. Did I leave Tiffany speechless for a moment?
No, you didn't. No. I'm just like, no, I'm just trying to think how to articulate it. So I think you have to find your tribe outside the gate. What does that look like? Mm-hmm. Is it an Irreverent Warriors hike? Maybe not. Sometimes it's a lot for someone who's not ready for that. Mm-hmm. Hashtag still fused. Sometimes right. That's a lot. But maybe Mission Continues, or maybe Team Red, White, and Blue, or maybe Team Rubicon, or maybe your chamber has a networking opportunity, or maybe ETS sponsorship, which is an amazing program that is backed by the VA, DOD, and DOL, Department of Defense, Department of Labor, but it is not directed by them. It's directed by amazing humans that understand the needs whenever we get out. They understand it's not always pretty. Most of us aren't ready to rock street for college, but you have to find your tribe, but you have to take the first step, right? It's just like when you signed on the dotted line and raised your right hand. You have to take the first step, but we're here. We're literally all here, but that's the hardest part, Tracy, is understanding that maybe the reason why you're just like, I want to scream and pull out your hair is because you need to be a part of something bigger than yourself again. So again, Team Rubicon, Stop Soldier Suicide, 22, even the social media, the Facebook groups, Google there are so many Facebook groups out there, whether you're close to an installation or you're not, we're here. We are here. And, I'm around. I just don't want anyone to feel like I did, to feel less than, right. Especially our females. Because sometimes some of the things that we go through during our service, it's really discouraging. But I just want everyone to know there is more to this. That does not define you, whatever that was. From MST to TBI to deployments to, survivors guilt or whatever it is, because you didn't deploy, but whatever that is, we're out here waiting for you to love on you and just to be here. You want to cry, you want to make it weird, you want to just scream. Roger that. We've done it all, so that's my bit of advice. Like Dory says, just keep swimming. But my quote that I have in every email, it says, "A rising tide lifts all boats," from President John F. Kennedy. And I believe that. So my one piece of advice, get out there, find your tribe. If you don't have one, make one. But you have to take the first step. And then we got you the rest of the way. We got your 6 all day, every day.
I love it. That is great advice. Great advice. So before you go, this has been amazing speaking with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of days in person at MIC.
That's right.
Yes. But before you go, how can we find out about you and what you're doing and what Step One Automotive Group is doing with their newly nonprofit foundation?
Yes. Well, Tracy, you know my drug of choice is LinkedIn. You go to LinkedIn.
Okay, well,
and
great.
you search Tiffany Orner. I'm there. Also Facebook. It's wide open. I don't listen. Whatever. It's there. Tiffany Leandra, my middle name. And then for Step One Automotive, stand by. They have multiple Step One Automotive groups. On social, they do have Step One Automotive, Step One Automotive Group, I think .com or steponeautomotive.com. But either way, they have Facebook groups. Forever Warriors is not live yet. But once that launches, everyone will know. So stay tuned for that. But also check out Step One Motorsports. That is so cool. The things that they're doing, those cars, it's amazing. So yeah, LinkedIn and then Facebook if you want. But definitely stay tuned. I will, as soon as those platforms are stood up, I will share them with everybody.
Awesome. Sounds really great. Well, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on Tactical Treasures. It was really awesome.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And I appreciate you guys. Like Tracy, you and your husband have created an amazing machine that is helping so many. And I if you don't know about JDog, you got to know, because what it's doing is it's allowing us military to be a part of something bigger again, to perform the work the military way, again, with respect, integrity, and trust. And though it may just seem like a service that you need, right? Your house needs to get cleaned, or your aunt's house needs to get cleaned out, whatever that looks like, you're giving us a why, a reason to wake up again, a reason to keep moving forward. So I just thank you, Tracy. And, you guys are doing God's work. And I see it. I appreciate you. And yeah, that's all I got. I thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like we're doing God's work too. We're meeting amazing veterans and giving them purpose again. I am passionate and love what I do every single day. So it is awesome. But thank you. And we will talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Okay. Hello, listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of, I don't want to start that again now. Oh my gosh. Hello, listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures. We've been speaking with Tiffany Orner. She's an Air Force veteran, MilSpouse, and the new Military Engagement Manager for Step One Automotive Group. They are getting ready to launch their new foundation called Forever Warriors, and it will be powered by Step One Automotive, and you can check them out at steponeautomotive.com, and you can check out Tiffany Orner. That is her LinkedIn profile. She will be shouting it from the rooftops once all the Forever Warriors platforms go live. So stay tuned. And thanks so much for listening. See you soon.